Hi there. I just got back from a nice little food event over here and hung out with some new people, met some new people, and ate some food. I am so full. I had this delicious ensemble of Italian samples from an amazing restaurant here in the area. So I just got back. I got some leftovers, some tiramisu and some beautiful lemon cake and or a lemon cheesecake and a pistachio cake. So I'm overstuffed. I will drink that. I will eat that tomorrow with coffee. And then of course some salads and some pastas that are made from a family, an Italian family, authentic, very nice people, very nice, locally owned and homemade food that was just, we had wine and we had like limoncello shots. I couldn't finish it. It was way too sweet for me, but it was delicious for whoever loves limoncellos. Just a great event and really nice people. And that's really what I'm here to do, is to encourage people to get out, and if you're ready to maybe make those connections, do so. Some of you have gone through some trials and tribulations in relationships lately or recently or maybe in the past. And sometimes that rears its ugly little head and you remember these things. I just want you to keep on believing in yourself. And for those that are in relationships that it just doesn't feel right, you're not getting the respect or the things that you need to feel good about yourself and to uplift you and feel loved and appreciated, because you deserve that. You deserve to be loved. Everyone deserves that. And what others do with that love that you have to give, it's up to them. But know that you don't have to stay in something that doesn't serve your highest good. And that's really the message here, is to be with people that will encourage you to grow, that helps you to grow in all aspects of your life, whether it be emotional, especially emotional, and spiritual. Those are the two areas that I base my channel on, really, because some of you, like myself, had gone through a situation with, maybe it was a love situation, maybe it was a work situation, maybe it was a family situation, maybe it was all of that, all at the same time. And know that you have that ability to move forward in your life. Now, some of you, that you won't resonate with me because you haven't had that situation, but perhaps you know someone, a sister, a brother, a mother, a cousin, a good friend of yours that's going through or has gone through a situation. I was talking to a girl today that was married, and she moved to the area to get away from her husband. Well, actually, they're divorced. Her ex-husband, he was a narcissist, and she's telling me, all these things where he made her feel crazy and he gaslighted her, and it was, long story short, if you don't know anything about that dynamic of the narcissist empath situation. I know I talked about this in another video. Some of us have that unfortunate experience to have gone through that. And some people don't make it. Some people, it's so bad that they get trapped by that person, or allowing that person or the other person to dictate how you feel about yourself. Now, in essence, no one really can control you. But if you have been with someone for a long time, or maybe you just met them, or you're dating someone new, you really want to be mindful. Don't ignore any red flags that you might see. And sometimes it's so subtle. And no matter who you are, it's all about self-worth. And I've been so fortunate in my life to have been raised in a very solid family where I felt, and maybe that's the same situation with you, maybe it wasn't, but in my particular situation, I felt grounded and I felt safe. So I know what safety feels like. I know what love feels like. I know what compassion feels like. I know what someone caring about you feels like. I know how I've been in relationships where I felt supported. And sometimes we will have those relationships in our lives, whether it be in a friendship or a romantic relationship, where we do not feel supported. And at some point, it might get so bad where you are noticing changes, and that's part of that person possibly taking off their mask, or you having that intuition and really thinking about what really is going on. And I feel for anyone who is in that situation right now. I've met a few right now that are struggling to leave their situation. And everybody's situation is going to be different. Your situation is not going to be the same as mine, but perhaps it is, where you feel like you're always an option, that that person was hiding things. That is your intuition telling you, okay? That is your spiritual team telling you that there's something wrong. And some people go through months, maybe years, possibly even decades, like myself, where we make excuses for others because we have that, if you are empathic, that tendency to want to help those people. Now, where you're dealing with narcissistic people and narcissistic tendencies, and I've said this in other videos, where we all have that self-serving aspect of ourselves. Everybody has had those same qualities, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the true narcissistic person. And there's a laundry list. You could look it up. You could watch other YouTube videos that specialize or just focus on narcissism. But when I was talking to my new friend today, she had to move. She went through the divorce. Her husband, she's like, take everything, take the house, take, you don't have to pay me anything. You could take the dog, you could take everything. And it resonated with me so much. She just wanted her peace. She just wanted peace. And I know I was in that, and I am in that place where I don't care about material things. I will move back with my family. I don't need blood money. I don't need any of that. So I know that a lot of people don't leave their situation because of financial reasons. And in all practical areas, I could understand that. Like I said, I know exactly how you feel if that's your situation, where you feel like financially it's going to be uncomfortable. Financially it might be a pain, Maybe you don't like change. Maybe you still have that hope. You have to ask yourself, are you in love with that person, the person who you're with, that is showing you exactly who he or she is by not taking your phone calls, by having X's, on speed dial or on Messenger, constantly talking, getting their supply. That's what it is. It's a supply. I know. I was someone's number one supply. And when I finally admitted to myself, because I take accountability for it as well, that I could not save someone, that I cannot change someone, it is not my journey, and it's not your journey either. You are the creator of your life. And for those that are going through this or haven't gone through this yet, evaluate yourself and evaluate your motivations. If money was no object and you can leave a situation and you could support yourself, or at least you could get to a safe place or get out of have that person out of your energy, would you leave? And I've asked that same question to myself when I was in that situation over and over and over again. And the answer was always yes, I would leave. But I didn't. Because there's an emotional aspect to it. There's how much time you put into this, all the investments that you put into this relationship. Perhaps you share a house together. Perhaps you share children together. Perhaps you share pets together. It's sometimes people feel like they've put in 10, 20, 30 years with this person and realize that it wasn't the right choice. Or I'm not going to say what is right and what's wrong, because in essence, when you get to that place where you realize to learn to listen to your intuition, to act on your intuition, to realize your self-worth, to realize that this is not the person for you. Now, that might take however long it takes you to realize that. And it's, we're the creator of our own lives. So however long that takes for you to learn your lesson, everyone's different. Hopefully it will be sooner than later. Otherwise, it could be 5, 10 years. You could revisit this video or another video similar to mine and look back and see the signs that you possibly missed. I don't wish it on anyone. I feel that the sooner you can get to that place of healing and understanding what you really want in that relationship. For me, I feel complete and whole without a relationship. And so when I meet someone, it's just extra. And if it's a good person that enjoys spending time with me and I enjoy spending time with them, and there's less of the arguing. Like every relationship, you're going to have your disagreements, but when it's fighting and it's them talking about ex-girlfriends, perhaps that's you, perhaps they're talking about someone else. Maybe they're talking about me. Maybe they're talking about another person. However, whoever it is that makes you feel like you're not being appreciated by that person, yeah, I am talking to you. So if you're getting this message, it applies to you. I don't believe in randomness. I don't believe in coincidences. The world, the universe brings you the people, the places, the things, the situations, the YouTubers, the content creators, the books, the therapists, the right people sitting at the same table as you at a Yelp event, or at the bar, or at church, or wherever you go. Maybe you're dropping off things at the Goodwill, and you bump into people, or you bump into someone that could give you some insight, or maybe they say something insightful that just sticks, and it's like, well, why did that person say that? There's signs and symbols everywhere on how to get on that path. And I don't want to make this, it's not about me, it's about really, because I've gone through that narcissistic empath dynamic in my life, and it took me a long time to realize it, and it's taken me a long time to have the courage to talk about it, because if I could help one person out there, one person to understand, I mean, up until about 2 years ago, I didn't even know what a narcissist was. I just, started hearing about it. And this is actually an underlying theme for the whole collective. There's so many people. Like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. And the fact that I've met at least 10 other people in my circle of connections that have gone through almost exactly the same thing, very similar, or even worse. I do not take that lightly. So, depending on where you are on your spiritual path and how seriously you take messages from your intuition, your gut feeling, perhaps your spiritual team, maybe even God, maybe you're getting prophetic dreams, perhaps you're getting nudges from the universe. I wish I had one of my friends or anyone in my family to say to me what they're saying now about, there was always this about this person that I had dated. I had friends that said, yeah, called out the narcissistic behaviors. Well, for me, I've always had those good intentions, so I don't look at people as labels, like a narcissistic person or this, that, but it's real. And again, I'm not a medical professional, and this particular person, as far as I know, wasn't diagnosed, but we can use our good judgment. We could educate ourselves on who we choose to surround ourselves with, and especially if you're living with a person. I always said this, I always said that you don't really know someone until you've lived with that person. And not just living, because people who you live with, if it was a partner, if you're in a long-term relationship, or even if you're married, people can wear masks. I don't know the percentage of people that are diagnosed or that go undiagnosed of this personality disorder, this personality trait, but mine was coupled with alcoholism as well. So for me, it was very hard to tell, and because for me, I just thought it was just this parts of symptoms of alcohol abuse. And so that's what I tried. That's what I thought. I was trying to get help, what I could, aside from, because a person who has addictions like alcohol, they're not going to willingly, unless they are mature enough, maybe they accept that they have an issue with alcohol. And even when you accept it, it doesn't mean that they're going to go in and go get help and go seek help. Most people feel like they have it under control. So I'm just sharing a little bit of my story, because if it does help someone to recognize recognize the things, or at least go out and learn more about what I'm talking about in this particular scenario. If that helps anyone, so they don't have to go through the trauma and the gaslighting and the the pain that it actually causes others, or causes you. And then again, it's not the end of the world if you can get to a safe place or feel safe. Or if sometimes it's going to change your life. Sometimes you might have to start all over again, or you feel like you're starting over, but don't feel that way. Don't feel like you're starting your life over. I take it as moving forward and making better choices. And like I said, there are people that wear masks and they lie. And that's why it's so important to really strengthen your intuition, strengthen your relationship with your creator, with the creator of your life. And I attribute that to God. I've always had a strong foundation in my creator, and even stronger when I had my near-death experience back in '97. I knew for certain, without a shadow of a doubt, that there is this loving God that has created us. And the more you know about this invisible world and being on that path that is made just for you, to keep you safe, to go with the flow, to possibly lead you to the place where you need to reflect and really reevaluate who you allow into your life. It's so important because it for some of us it can mean survival. For a lot of us it can mean mental health. So I just want to leave that with you. That's a pretty heavy subject. Like I said, I've met so many people, more than my fair share, in the last, at least the last 6 months, that have been going through something very similar to what I'm talking about. And it could be man or woman. You don't have to switch the roles, reverse the roles, male, female, male, male, female, female, male. The males are victims of this as well, but you don't have to be that victim. You can walk away. You could walk away from it and start over. And it's not like starting your life over. For some of you, maybe it feels that way. Maybe you're walking away from a home or a neighborhood or a situation. Sometimes you have to leave your job. Sometimes you don't want to leave that job, but you have to for your own well-being. Again, mental, spiritual, emotional, and especially physical. We never want to be in a place where you don't feel safe. Because in my situation, I knew that there was never going to be a solution. The only solution was me to walk away. And I can't emphasize how grateful I am for finally making that decision. I feel that as a woman, and again, it could be male or female, but as a woman for that situation, but as a woman, we are strong. We don't really, no one really needs anyone. If you're in a relationship, it's like, if it's a good, strong relationship where there's mutual respect and love, and there's no secrets, there's no lies, there's no cheating, there's no keeping options open, there's no gaslighting, there's none of that, there's no dealing with addictions. Because again, most of you are not equipped to deal with alcoholics or people who are drug addicts or have some type of personality disorder, or you're not here to fix them. A lot of things, you know, with online dating now, and there's different ways to meet people, at the very least do a background check. But even more important is your observation. I'm not saying be paranoid and seek out all these different things, because people have moods, yes. But when there's evidence, and the evidence is overwhelmingly leaning towards someone that does not have your intentions or their intentions and your well-being in the right, their intentions aren't great, and there's a lot of manipulation, and they don't have your well-being in the forefront, it might be a time for you to really make those hard decisions. So I'm going to leave that with you. If you like this topic and you want me to discuss more about it or talk more about it, definitely hit the thumbs up. You can make a comment. And I know, again, this is not the situation that everyone goes through, and, you know, thank God, because, again, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. No one deserves that. And seeing that this dynamic of narcissist, empath, or anyone who has these narcissistic tendencies, you know, you could probably spend a lifetime studying it. But how about using that energy to remove yourself, number one, to a safe place, a safe space where you feel safe, number one, and evaluating why you have accepted that in your life. And like I said, those personality types, they do wear masks. They're master manipulators. They can manipulate the situation. But if you're able to escape, because none of us are trapped. Sometimes we stay because we want to help. You love that person. You want them to be better. You want them to get better. But a lot of those things that need to be done lies within them, and you're not here to fix anyone. You really aren't. And some I found a lot of times I felt guilty, or I felt the burden of thinking that I was the person that had to fix them or had to help. And sometimes you can be manipulated to feel that way, that you have to stay, and you don't. We have free will. You have a beautiful life waiting for you. Just find that courage and be strong. Like I said, I see so many men and women that have overcome the situation, and I know you can too. Believe in yourself. Go to God. Go within. Trust that you have everything you need in order to move forward and have a beautiful life here and serve your purpose. Thank you for listening. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.